Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey with us by hitting that subscription button right below. It's free, and don't forget to hit the bell notification. Thank you so much to every single one of you that have been with me from the start. I am grateful and humbled by every single one of you, and thank you so much for the newcomers that just subscribed also. Welcome, and I hope you're going to feel at home alongside with all of us, one big whole family. Okay, so today we're going to create a half moon rug. Now, of course, you can use whatever colors fits in your home, your decorations. I'm using these colors because I have them in my kitchen, the same thing. I have the lime green, the yellow. Of course, in camera, the colors never give it justice, and some brown. And I'm sure that some of you that have been following me know that I've created some jar covers, for the sugar, coffee, and flour, and things like that on these colors. And therefore, I'm using these for the half moon rug, one for the sink, which is right next to the counter of the stove. So one for the stove. I did create already one piece, of course. Very simple, very fast to create, and not, not too much waste on using too much thread. Now, of course, I use 100% 6-ply cotton thread. These are Portugal threads. The best suggestion I give you is Aunt Lydia number 3. It's perfect to create rugs because it's thick enough for it. This is a little bit thicker than Aunt Lydia, but not by much, okay? And of course, the size of the rug, you can go as big as you'd like with adding just more rows into it, okay? Now, before we get into the rug and stuff, up top there's 3 little buttons on the right. You click there, and once you open that, it tells you slow down the video to the speed desired. So you click on the speed you would like to slow down if I'm too fast for you. Next to the 3 little buttons, there's the letter CC, which is for closed caption. If you don't see it next to the 3 little buttons up top, then once you open the 3 little buttons, it will be in there CC. Turn your closed caption on. Everything I will say will be written down here. You can pause the video and take notes of the stitches that I'm calling and each row that I'm going about. This is a 6-ply. I'm going to use a 5.5. I should be using bigger, but I just can't get used to the big hooks. So 5.5, pair of scissors to cut your edges, and a little one to tuck in loose ends. Now, remembering always the trick to crocheting. If your stitch is too tight, go a size or 2 bigger on your hook. If your stitch is too tight to create 1 chain space and it's pulling, use 2 chain space. If it's too loose, then cut down on the chain space. So it's very simple to have that created, okay? I also would like to mention that a little, I think it's a week or 2 ago, I had asked for everybody's opinions about helping out people with thread, because I do get a lot of comments, either my Facebook messages, on Instagram also, that they would, they love following me, but they can't afford to buy thread. These are people that are in pensions that are not enough, or they're very sick. They live off, some kind of welfare benefit from it. Mental health issues, we all know how devastating that can be. There's nothing like trying to help somebody else in good willing of your heart and give them something to occupy their minds. My goal and my mission is to help women or men, because there is men crocheters, in need, of a couple of balls of thread and keep them busy. I cannot do this alone. Obviously, if I was rich, I wouldn't be asking you guys for help. And I think it doesn't hurt if, most of yous, if not all of yous, 50 cents, a dollar, a euro, whatever, help out, with a helping hand, and feel good about it, that we can do something to change somebody's emotions through keeping their minds busy doing and creating things. So please help out. We are in this together, and I've mentioned, for quite some time, this is not just a crochet channel, but we are a helping channel. And my mission is to help absolutely people that need it. I mean, I could just imagine, I want to get busy with something and not have like $1, $2, or $3 or $4 or $5, $6 to get a roll of thread. So my mission is to buy the thread, call out their names, make a little video to who it's going for, so you'll know, and it's throughout the world. It's not just, in specific countries. I will ship it to wherever they are. So please help out. My PayPal account will be below on the description box. I created that account specifically to help out people that want to donate. So please find it in your hearts with little sums. Nobody's asking you for millions, just a few bucks here and there, change on your pocket. Sometimes we spend money silliness and stupidities that we have so much in the house already, and we just continue to buy things that we don't necessarily mean. Well, you can make a difference by donating something to help, to buy something for somebody to get busy on doing creations, okay? So please do. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. By the way, we have 2 of them that already have donated. So Karen Coffee, thank you so much. God bless you. What a blessing you are. That's the administrator of Crochet Therapy. I never get tired of saying what a wonderful woman. And Carrie Young is one of the monitors. Beautiful woman too. And the other second person that donated was Barbara Foot. And thank you so much. God bless you. She's a friend on Facebook. Not specifically somebody that I know personally, just, one person that's added to my Facebook for quite some time when I started this channel. So thank you so much, Barbara, and thank you so much, Karen. God bless you guys at 10,000 times more than what you have. Try to help with this donation. Now, I know it's not much, but you know what? If everybody hands in a little bit, it all ends up at the end. And this is what's important for this mission. Okay? Thank you so much, everybody. Let's get started. Okay, everyone. So the first recording that you just heard is from the other half moon rug for the kitchen. Now, makes it easier when you have a recording already, just add it on, so I don't have to repeat the whole thing all over again, and so on and so forth. So we're going to continue from there. Now, the other one, I had made 24 rows exactly, actually 19 rows, and then I did the flowers. This one is a little bit bigger. This is for the tub, for the bathroom. This one has 24 rows. So you're going to proceed the same way exactly as we pretty much did with the kitchen rug. I will show you how we're going to start it off. Very simple. I'm using a 6-ply 100% cotton thread. And because my bathroom is gray, green, and blue, so I'm going to alternate the colors and take it from there. But I will show you the beginning and how to proceed with these. Now, this is optional with the lime green, fluorescent green, whatever way you want to call it. You don't have to add it. I added on single crochet on every 5th row, except for the last row. I have 4 here, so I did that because I'm going to use the darker green. Okay, so just show you very quick on this one how it begins. I don't have to make you go to the other link. Okay, so you'd make your magic circle, come in, and you do your 1, 2, 3 double crochet inside of this magic circle. We're going to do 6 double crochet together, total of 6 altogether, including with the 3 chain weaving up. So this is pretty much starting. And just pull this up, the beginning right here. Okay, so we have 4, 5, and 6. You tighten it up. I'm not going to tie it all the way because I'm going to take it down. So you just pull on it. You turn around. Chain 2 for me. For some of you, maybe chain 3, depending upon the tension on your stitch. So on the same one, double crochet, 1 chain separation. We are increasing. Next space, 2 double crochets together, 1 chain separation. Next space, very simple to do and very fast, nothing to it. This will be a little bit different, same shape and same beginning as the kitchen rug, but the finishing will be a little bit different. Different stitch, different design with the finish, okay? We don't want to have the whole house looking the same way. So already with colors it changes a lot, and with the design it's going to help out more on top of that. So basically on this top one you're going to have 12 double crochets. That means 2 per space and 1 chain separation in between them. So very simple, nothing to it. I decided to film from here on because then it gives you the idea how different they all can look, even though you're creating the same pattern. Okay, so basically, like I said, 2 double crochets. Don't forget the last one here, because sometimes this last one can be tricky and we tend to forget. So 2 double crochets, 1 chain, 2 double crochets, 1 chain, all in the same space. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. You turn around. You'd come here and do chain 2 for me, maybe chain 3, always increasing on this first double crochet. That means 2 together each time you start a row. Okay, so now we started with 1, now we have 2, now we have 3, 1 chain separation, and it's repeatedly until the desired length you'd like. I went up to 24. With that being said, that means that there's 24 double crochet. There's 6 motifs, so the last one has 24 double crochets. Separation of 1 chain. Okay, so I think you understand what I'm saying. It's not too difficult. So next space, 2 together, always 2 together on the first chain. First double crochet and 1 alone. So now we have the increase, 3 double crochet, 1 chain, next double crochet, 2 together, 1 double crochet, 1 chain, and so on. So you're going to continue to do that. Like I said, I did 5 and then I did single. Now everybody should know how to do a single crochet, I hope. And then I cut my thread and I continue on doing the same thing. Just keep adding on. So basically you're not adding anything here on the green. You're just doing 1 per space, single crochet. And then we finished off with 5, so that means you have to do 6, 2 together. And you can do, and then 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Then single crochet, 1 per space. We're not increasing. And then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Single crochet, no increase. So, and then all the way to 24. So I have 4 here. Now I'm going to start with my green. Okay, thank you everyone. Okay everyone, I wanted to use a dark green, but I won't have enough. So we'll use the same green, but you can, if you have a darker green, you can. It will look much nicer. I don't have enough, and I don't know if they'll have it at the store. They'll probably have to order, and I have to wait weeks for it, and I'm not going to do that. So we're going to come into the first double crochet here with a single. Try to hide my thread at the same time if I can. And I'm using a thicker hook so I can get it. This is going to be a poof stitch, so I can get my stitch through it, or I'm going to have a very difficult time. Okay, so we're going to bring it out. So we have, let's say 2, 1 more. course, I never learned my lesson with the tight stitch, right? Now you're going to hold it onto your hook, you're going to skip a space, and you're going to go into the next one, and you're going to take it out all together, okay? Now, usually the first times you're doing it, you're going to find a little bit of challenging, but you get used to it. So, 1, 2 chain. We're going to come exactly where we did that one that we just closed in. You're going to come right in between and stretch your yarn, your thread, whatever you're using. 2 and 3. You're going to skip a space, you're going into the next one, and you're going to pull right through it, okay? 1 and 2, chain. Again, coming in to where we closed everything all together. 1, 2, and 3. Don't worry about the leftover thread, we'll fix it afterwards. Tuck it and cut it and we'll do okay. So skip 1 into the next one. I was really wanting to use that darker green and I don't have enough to do my poofs here, so 1, 2 chain, and again come back into the same space. 1, 2, and 3. Whoops, I almost closed in. That wouldn't have been good. So I have 24 rows of my singles, and singles every 5 rows, except for the last one, there's only 4 rows. So skip 1 into the next one and pull through. 1, 2, and then come in again. So very simple. 2 and 3. Skip a space into the next one. Now, for some of you, you can go bigger or you can go smaller, depends on the area that you're using this rug for. Sometimes you're going to end up, by skipping a space, you're going to end up maybe in the center of your square. That's okay. You just go in through the center of your square and you pull it through. Okay? So just always skip 1. It doesn't matter where you're going to end up, either on the center or the one before. You just pull through the same way. So I'm going to continue to do the same thing all the way to the end. And then I'm cutting my thread and proceeding with another color. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished doing all my poof sideways. Coming in again back with my cream color. And I'm coming in right on the first chain we did here with the single. Try to hide my thread. 2 chain inside of the space, 2 double crochet. So this row is going to be all about double crochets. Okay, next space where we have the 2 chains, 2 double crochets. Next space where we have the 2 chains, 2 double crochets. And again, all the way to the end. And we continue on all the way to the end, putting 2 double crochets on the chain space between the poofs, okay? Where we have the 2 chain. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. Coming to the end, since we started with 3, remember we did the single and the 2 chains. So I'm going to come right in the corner here. We can have a straight. Okay, so into the next phase. So I'm going to cut my thread, and okay everyone, so I'm coming in with the blue, baby blue, because the bathroom, like I said, it's gray, blue, and green. I'm going to come on the first one of the double crochet with a single, trying to hide all these threads here, but I'm going to pass the hot gun glue on top of the ones that I've cut in the thread, so to be secure. Okay, so single, next space, single, and one more space, single. So we have 3 singles. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, chain. I'm going to skip 1, 2 on the third one, single, 3 chain again, 2 and 3, skip 1, 2 on the third one, single, 1, 2 and 3, chain again, 1, 2 on the third one, single. So we're going to have 3 loops. Now we're not going to do any chain, we're going to create little V's, okay, a V. So I'm going to skip, no chain, 1, 2 on the third one, double crochet, 4 chain, 1, 2, 3 and 4. We're going to come inside of the same space and create a double crochet, so we can have the V in here, because on the next row we're going to put 9 double crochets in here. So again, no chain, 1, 2 on the third one. We're going to create our 3 loops again, 2, 3 chain, 1, 2 on the third space, 1, 2, 3 with a single, and then 1, 2, 3, a single again. So now we're going to have 3 loops again, exactly like we had on here, and then we're going to create again the V, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2, skip on the third one. So now we have our 3 loops again. We're going to go directly 1, 2, 3, no chain separation, and create our double crochet, 4 chain, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Coming back inside of the same space, create your double crochet, and we're going to repeat this all the way to the end, and at the end we're going to have the same way with 3 singles, 1, 2 and 3, and then chain 1, 2 and 3. So 1, 2 and 3. I was creating this and I thought, why not make the video? It makes another pattern that people might want to create, and it's a beautiful pattern. Okay, 1, 2 and 3, 2 and 3. So we have the 3 loops again. We go directly 1, 2 and 3 with double crochet, 4 chain, 1, 2, 3 and 4, back into the same space, double crochet. So we created now our third V, 1, 2 and 3 V's. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I've come to the end, and as you can see, I did 1 single, so I don't have 3 to do, right? I don't have 3 double crochets, so I'm just going to add 2. I'm going to put 1 here, because we have to have the 3 double crochets like we started. I'm just going to put 1 in here. So we have the 3. So now we're going to turn around. I don't know if it's better for you guys probably to see on the black one here. I always like to keep a black one. Now we're going to do the 3 singles again. So we're going to go up, chain 1 into the same space. So 1 single, next space 2 single, 3, no, sorry, Okay, let's get it together again, Maggie. So chain one, go into the next space, single, next space, single. So now we have two singles, right? Because we went right over. And on the middle of this first one here, single. Now we're going to do chain three again, making those little loops, but this time we're going to have two loops, right? We're decreasing on the loops. 1, 2, and 3. Next space, single. So now we have only two loops, okay? We're going to go directly into the V and create 9 double crochets. Okay, so create your 9. Okay, so I've created my 9 double crochets. I'm going to go directly into the first loop with the single, and 1, 2, 3, and create the two chains again, the two loops again. 1, 2, and 3, and into the next one. Okay, so now we have the two loops. Now we go directly inside of the V again with 9 double crochets. And we're going to do this until the end, and at the end we're going to do the same way as we started by putting one single on the last loop and then the two other singles at the edge. Okay, but I'll meet you at the end so you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I reached the end. So I did my two loops. I did my single in there. I'm going to come into the next one. Do my second single and my third single. Okay, now we're going to turn around. See if I can cut down a bit of the lighting. So I'm going to one chain and I'm going to do the walk. I call it the walk with a slip stitch. And into the next one, the walk again. And inside of the first loop, I'm doing a single. Chain 3 again, so now we're going to have one loop, okay? Because we are cutting down on the loops, we're decreasing. Now, I'm going to come in directly into my first double crochet. Now I'm facing backwards, so I'm going to grab my front loop here facing me and do a double crochet with one chain separation. The next front loop, because we have two loops on here, I'm not touching the back loop, okay? And one chain separation because I am faced backwards. So I want it to have this line stand in the front, okay? So again, one chain and using back loops, not back loop, front loops only facing me. So I'm not grabbing, there's two here, right? I'm grabbing this one here, okay, the front one. Whoops. And again, so very simple. It's a very fast and easy pattern to create, and it becomes beautiful, whatever color you use, red, the royal blue, yellows, any color you'd like. I don't know why I was doing a single here. That's not too smart of me, was it? It's because I talk and I miss my concentration. Forgive me. And into the last one here. Whoops. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we're going to come into the first loop again with a single and 1, 2, and 3, and into the next loop, so we stay with one. So we started with 3 loops, 2 loops, 1 loop. Now again, grabbing only front loop here on the 9 double crochets with a double crochet, 1 chain separation, next space, double crochet, grabbing front loop, 1 chain separation, and so on. Okay, and then we'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, I pretty much finished doing it here. I did my last three chain, the loop, and I walked like I told you with a walk the same way with single. Okay, I've cut my thread, and this is going to be tucked in at the end when we do the last row, which is the single. Okay, so here where we started with our beginning, so basically we just come and hide this loop because we're going to do the last row now with single crochets, and so this will be hidden in between the stitches back here. Just go through a few and we're good to go because we're going to hide it with our single. Okay, so make sure we're faced the right way in order to do our single. I'm going to use my green. Now I'm most probably going to create a flower, a flat flower, and I'm going to glue it on with 2 leaves, probably brown leaf, just to break the ice a bit on the coloring. And brown goes perfect with green and blue anyway. So if you have an idea to put a flower, glue the flower with your leaves, then you can go into my playlist and choose whatever flower you like. I don't know at this point which one I'm going to do, but just something flat. I'll link it below in the description box, and also will link the rug in case you missed it for the kitchen. Maybe you want to create that one. So I'm going to come into my first slip stitch here that we did the walk with, and I'm going to do a single and 1, 2, 3 chain. I'm going to come back in. We're doing picot, and then I'm going to skip 1. I'm going into the second one and doing single, 1, 2, 3, picot again, skip 1. I'm coming in. Let me see where I'm at. So I'm skipping 1. I'm coming in right beside the single we have there. 1, 2, and 3, picot. I'm coming into where the loop is with the single. Okay, so now we have 3 picots. Okay, and do a single there. I'm coming in right into in between the first and second double crochet, single, and 1, 2, 3, doing picots in between the double crochets. Next space, the double crochet, 1, 2, and 3, and next space again. Just like that. I'll meet you here just to make sure you don't get mixed up. Okay, so I'm on my last picot, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and I'm coming directly into where we have our one loop left. Okay, I'm gonna go directly again in between the first and second, so that first space, and start again my 3 chain picot, close it in with single, next space, 1, 2, and 3. I usually don't like too much of a space in between with the stitches when I'm doing picots. Let's see how this works so I don't keep grabbing only one thread. Okay, next space. This is a 6.5, by the way, people. 2, 3, and I've been using the 5.5. It's a bad habit I have, because in reality you're supposed to be using this one, you know, because these are 6-ply thread. But I don't like to work with big hooks, and that's my problem. And I don't like too much of loose stitches. I don't think it looks pretty on patterns, you know, so I know it's a bad habit, but I find it way much prettier when it's a little bit more tight. Too tight is not pretty, so you have to be careful on that too. Too tight, it cramples up the material, the pattern, so it looks like a wrinkled old rag. So you can't do that either. I think this looks pretty good, not bad. Okay, so I'll meet you at the edge because we're going to continue afterwards all the way down. So we're going to continue where the flat part is afterwards once I finish the other corner. Up to the other corner, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone. So I pretty much finished doing my picots. Oh, okay. And now we're on the flat side. So I've closed in on my single here with a single. I'm going to come into the next space. One, two, and three. Single. I'm going to come in directly into the first double crochet here. One, two, and three. You don't have to do picots if you don't want to. You can just do singles if you'd like. And then I'm coming in to one where I have the green here. No. I'm going to come back into the same space here because it gives too much of a distance. Okay. I'm going to come back in here again where I was. 1, 2, 3. So you play with it. You see how your stitch is. You don't necessarily have to follow the same rule as I'm doing. I'm going with the flow wherever it lands. This is where I will put my singles in. Now, I don't want them to be too crumpled up. So that looks pretty good. Now, I have a feeling on these double crochets I probably have to always, unless I find a way to come in here and it doesn't look too bad. Okay, that looks fine. But if it was too much of a space, I would have came back on the same space and then did a single on the next space and do my picot. Okay, so next space. So that seems to be working without tightening too much. If I had a smaller hook and tighten it too much, it wouldn't look good. It would have been pulling. So that's why it's good. It's important to see, like here, because I have the singles with the green, I am going to have to go in here because it's going to give me too much of a long space, and then I'll come right here into the other single, double crochet I should say, and then continue on. Well, this does it for this tutorial, because this is the same way all the way through until here. And then I'm just going to glue a flower and 2 leaves somewhere in the bottom. You'll see it afterwards in the pictures. Probably seen it already at the beginning, because usually the pictures go up before we even get started, because the picture is the end, right? So thank you so much again, everybody. Sending hugs to every single one of you. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up, share, help the people in need if possible. If you can't send as money to help out, if you have extra thread, yarn, whatever, and you have a bunch and you don't know what to do with it, it's just sitting there, then you can email me, contact me. Instagram will be below, Facebook will be below. You can message me and I'll give you my address. You can send it to me, or I'll give you the person's address and you can send it directly to them. Okay? So thank you so much, everyone. Take care, and until next time. Bye-bye. Oh, I'll have it in display, of course. Take care, everyone.